Bill Macomber waited. So did the Arizona Justice Project. So did Bill's son, Ron, for months. Waited with hope for Governor Jan Brewer to approve the Clemency Board's recommendation to set Bill free. And then the answer came. The application for clemency for William Macomber is denied.
What was it like for you to get that news?
Brutal. Just brutal.
One of those kick-in-the-gut things, huh?
It was devastating. We thought all of our work, everything was over.
And then it almost was.
The warden calls me and says, you might want to get down here. He's very, very sick. And I'm now panicked.
Bill had a blockage in his small intestine that had begun hemorrhaging. Doctors put him in a medically induced coma in which he lingered for weeks between life and death. But just when Ron was about to give up all hope, Bill came out of it. And so a last attempt, it was now or never, the Arizona Justice Project decided to fight for a new trial. But County Attorney Bill Montgomery wasn't buying it.
You still felt that he was a guilty man?
Oh, he was and he is. Efforts to try to pin the murders on a different individual. Efforts to try and insinuate, if not outright claim, that Macomber, the convicted murderer, was a victim of a frame-up and that his ex-wife was responsible for it. All of that had been argued before.
I know, and they didn't get to hear all the evidence, did they?
Well, they got to hear all the admissible evidence.
But what about the Ernie Valenzuela confession?
You look at these two guys, which one do you think committed the crime?
That's
The good guy or the bad guy?
That's exactly what I'm not supposed to do as a prosecutor. I'm supposed to look at the evidence and make an objective determination about the case that I have. There was
Well, wait
an
a minute.
argument.
But here's this woman who says, I was there, I saw it happen. And then this Valenzuela guy says, I did it.
She says that Ernie Salazar was the one who was there.
Right.
Ernie Salazar is not Ernesto Valenzuela.
But if Montgomery had any intention of arguing his case in court, he couldn't. That's because the evidence from the original case had been destroyed when Bill's appeals were exhausted.
The county attorney ultimately was willing to sort of recognize the realities of the situation on both sides, his side and our side, and we're able to reach a resolution.
But of course, there was a catch. Bill Macomber would be freed, but only if he pleaded no contest to a charge of second-degree murder.
It was disappointing in a sense because he wasn't guilty and he couldn't admit guilt.
After all, for decades he'd fought to lose the stigma of guilt.
To no contest, he does not plead guilty. He would have died in prison before he ever admitted to doing something he didn't do.
But finally thoughts of freedom and family prevailed. So, just last year, after 38 years behind bars, he took the deal.
My father comes in, all shackled up, and one of the first things that happens, the judge orders the bailiff to remove all the shackles from him. And if that's not symbolic, I don't know what it is.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I got to be the first one to hug him. He's finally coming home.
It was a day that I thought we may never see. And he walked out in a pair of jeans and an old Western shirt, which is exactly what he wanted to wear when he walked out of prison.
How does freedom feel?
Nothing like it. Nothing like it.
What has Ron's support meant to you?
Everything. Everything. Very proud of him. I love him with all my heart. He's his father's son. You know?
Not everyone was celebrating, mind you. Some people liked the story just the way it was, like the families of Tim McKillop and Joyce Sternberg.
We know the man killed those two young people. To see this end the way it did is, in my opinion, pretty tragic.
Carol, as you can imagine, did not like the way it turned out. Not one bit.
Phil is a killer. He is a double killer. I don't care if anybody else believes me. I know it. I've done all I can do to tell the truth, and it'll just have to suffice.
Ron is using his father's name now. He's a Macomber again. And he's still trying to sort out the mystery in his family. Still struggling to forgive a parent. But this time, it's his mother.
I know what the truth is. She knows what the truth is. As much as I despise her for what she's done. I do not hate my mother. I don't like who she is. I don't like what she's done. She's my mother and I love her.
Bill Macomber spends his days simply now with family. He's taken up fishing with his brother, Bob.
I never thought we were going to do this again.
Neither did I, Robert.
And Ron is getting to know his dad all over again.
The things that you take for granted, all these firsts that I've been waiting for, to now have him back in my life, there's no words for it.